Hello everybody and welcome to Trentino, the MXGP of Trentino here, round 4 of the FIA Motocross World Championship. And thanks for joining us here today live for our studio show where we have once again a packed house. We've got Thomas Kjær-Olsen already in place, Romain Febvre and Lewis Phillips from MXVice.com joining us here today. 125 LCQ is out on track at the moment, so if you're observant, you'll see on the timing screens behind us the progress of that race. But Lisa, we're back in Italy, Trentino. Another busy weekend, 125s, and the first round of the women. It's going to be a busy one.
It is going to be a busy one, but it's just, I just keep thinking about that last MXGP race last year with Tony. It was some of the best racing I've ever seen here, and so I'm really looking forward to see how it pans out this weekend, that's for sure.
Well, actually, I'm glad you've touched on that, because I think we have a clip here of some of the passes that Tony made during that second race last year. And I wonder if this weekend we'll throw up some of those same experiences. This was the first of many passes, and eventually this kind of got him the overall Grand Prix victory when he found his way past Bobryshev right at the end. But he took no prisoners, did he? And the atmosphere was absolutely amazing.
It was. Do you know what? I've actually got goose pimples just watching that now, because it was fantastic, wasn't it? Look at that.
Well, actually, just looking at that pass there on Jeffrey, those two are obviously very dominant in MXGP at the moment. I wonder if the roles will be reversed this weekend. Who knows? But as we said, a major victory last year. But let's crack on with the show. That was last year. This is this year. Thomas Kjær-Olsen, welcome to the studio show here. How are you feeling coming in? Because second in the points. Is that kind of where you expected to be? Or is it better than expected?
I would say it's where I expected to be. Some guys moved up from the class, and I had a really good winter of training, and I was feeling good coming into the season. So I was expecting to be up there. Jonas already got a bit of a lead. He's been doing really good, so it's difficult to catch up on him. But I would say I'm where I want to be, and I'm quite happy with my riding the last couple of weeks. I've been on the podium every time, so I can't say that I'm not happy about that.
You just mentioned Paul has a bit of a lead, 30 points behind him already. I say already after 3 rounds. Are you surprised that he's won every race and that he has 30 points at this moment in time?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm surprised. He's a good rider and everything, but yeah, they've been getting good starts and just staying cool up front, so that's impressive. And yeah, I think you guys talked about it's been a while since somebody won that many races, so yeah, a little bit surprised. But I'm just trying to do mine and be up there with those guys to be on the podium and hopefully get a win.
But you said you've been on the podium every round, and you have. It's just you and Pauls that have a 100% podium record in MX2. So you must be pretty pleased with that level of consistency from your part.
Yeah, I am, but at the same time, you always want more and more and more. So
yeah, I
really want to win, and yeah, it's gonna take good starts and a good race for sure.
Yeah.
But it was obviously, I mean, we're looking at footage here. How important for you is it to get off to a good start here? It started off perfectly for you in Patagonia, for instance.
Oh, it's really important because I think we're pretty close in lap times and stuff. So if I don't get out there with those guys, it's difficult to pass. Yeah. Because everybody in the top 10 or top 20, they all fast and all fight really hard on the first laps. So it's difficult to just make way through the field. Yeah, I think I've been pretty aggressive the first couple of laps when I didn't get a good start. So that's been helping me a little bit, but definitely looking to get a whole shot even, maybe.
Yeah. Well, it's a different type of circuit this weekend. The first real hard pack track that we've had so far this season. Yep. Last year you were 4th. What are you expecting from this weekend then?
I don't really know what I'm expecting, but I'm for sure hoping to be on top of the podium. That's pretty much my goal. Yeah, I've been on the podium now, tried that, and like I said, I always want more. So I want to be on top of that podium. Is
it a track that you like or dislike? Or do you feel strong on this track?
Yeah, I feel strong. Yeah. It's not my favorite track, I wouldn't say, but I've done good in the last 2 years. Yeah. So
well, you won here in 250.
Yeah, exactly. And last year I felt I won the qualifying moto for the first time, I think. So it's definitely a track I've been doing good at. So hopefully I can do good again.
Yeah. Well, as we said a moment ago, so far 3 rounds in, 3 podiums, 100% record. Last year you made the podium just 1 time. but it was a good one in Latvia. And we've got a quick reminder of that coming up now. I mean, if you can't win here, for instance, where do you expect to win, or where is more likely in terms of tracks that you prefer?
Oh, that's difficult to say.
Yeah, but you know, if everything was perfect, and you say, right, is it more likely to be a sand race? Could it be Portugal next week? Or,
yeah,
I
like Portugal even, and yeah, I like most tracks. I'm not like, oh, I only like sand or only like hard pack. I like the challenge of every track. So
how special was this moment?
Yeah, that's really special. I wasn't expecting that win. So, but to be honest, like Latvia is kind of like Denmark, where I grew up. So I always done good there, also in Europeans and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe it comes in Latvia.
Yeah.
Hopefully sooner, but
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We will. Okay, now we have a question for you on social media from Deb Warren 26, and she says, our son rides motocross. He's 15, and he's already 184 centimeters tall.
So that's 6 foot in English terms.
That's pretty tall. Do you think that being tall is a disadvantage when riding?
No, being tall is not, I would not say, but being heavy can be a disadvantage in the start, and with the smaller 250 that we're riding on, it can be a little bit of a disadvantage. But I would say I'm using it as an advantage instead, and it's working out really well for me. I move a lot around it on the bike, and trying to do different stuff with the bike and with my height and stuff like that, so it doesn't bother me like that.
How do you find it as an advantage then? More in the wet, muddy conditions or the sandy conditions, for instance, where you need to be maybe up on the pegs and over the back? Is that where it's more advantageous for you?
Yeah, I would say like I have more control. I say I don't really know how the other guys feel, but I feel in control and I feel strong on the bike. For sure, the other guys do that too. But yeah, I just feel really strong, and I'm trying to navigate the bumps good. And if I do a mistake, I have a little bit more movement. I don't know if that's that's how it is or not, but that's how I feel.
Because exactly that's how it is. You know, when the bike's moving, you can counter and correct accordingly when you need to.
Yeah, and I can. For example, in the waves, I try to use my legs a lot.
Cool. All right. Well, Deb, hopefully that answered your question, and all the best with your little. Short 15-year-old. Hopefully we'll see him at the start line soon. But Thomas Geroldsson, thanks for joining us here today, and good luck this weekend and for the rest of the season. Right, Roman Febvre is in the building, of course, from Monster Energy Yamaha. He's our next guest. We'll catch up with him in just a moment, but before we meet him, let's see what happened a couple of weeks ago in Red Sand, his highlights from MX2 Race 2. MX2 Race 2, and Paul Jonas charged down the start straight looking for a foxhole shot, but it was his young teammate Jorge Prado who grabbed his first of the season. Closely followed by Jonas, it wasn't long before his teammate found his way through into the lead for a brief Red Bull KTM 1-2. Thomas Geroldsson was right there in third on his Rockstar Energy Husqvarna and wasted no time in finding his way past the young Spaniard. A neat move up the inside allowed the tall Dane to go after the number 1 of Jonas. And the 19 followed the number 1 as he kept his eyes on a big prize. Darian Sanai was right there as well. Even the rain didn't do anything to dampen the spirits of the riders in MX2. Hunter Lawrence started to fade back as he held on to a 5th place finish. Jorge Prado, though, was in no mood for messing around as he continued to keep at bay the 57 of Sanai. But then up front, Thomas Geroldsson fell from 2nd. Prado took his eye off the ball, and that allowed Sanai to make a move up the inside into 2nd. All of that in the space of about 50 meters. The Red Bull KTM of number 1, Paul Jonas, continued to pull clear as Darian Sanai on the bike at DRT Kawasaki decided to give chase, and he got close on several occasions to the Latvian. Jorge Prado fell back to 3rd and could do nothing about the charge from Jonas or Sanai. who came home in second. Prado was third, Thomas Kjær Olsen fourth, and Hunter Lawrence fifth for Honda 114 Motorsports. So after 3 rounds, Jonas is perfect Paul. Once more, 3 wins out of 3, 6 races out of 6. Prado on the podium at home, and so too was Thomas Kjær Olsen. But as we head to Italy round 4 at Trentino, Jonas now has a 30-point advantage over Thomas Kjær Olsen. Jorge Prado is third, just 15 points further back. But it's Jonas who's in control in MX2 as we head to Trentino. Hello everybody, welcome back to our MXGP TV studio show here, live from Trentino, round 4 of the FIM Motocross World Championship. That was highlights from MX2 Race 2 in Spain a couple of weeks ago at La Comunitat Valenciana. And our next guest is here, Roman Febvre, Monster Energy Yamaha Factory Racing. Roman, good to see you. And good to see you riding well, actually. After, you know, 2 difficult seasons, you arrive here 4th in the championship. A much better start to the season for you. You must be happy about that, I imagine.
Yeah, it's a good season, good start of the season. I mean, the 2016 season went well since the crash in England, till the crash in England, sorry. But last year it was really difficult season for me. We didn't start like I wanted with the bike, so it was really a difficult season. But yeah, now we are here. The season starts pretty good. I score every time some good points.
Yeah.
It always can be better till you are not first. But I feel that it's coming. I'm pretty excited for this weekend.
Good.
Right from the first round in Patagonia, we saw you battling up front. Just tell us, how is the new bike? Because it does seem that both you and Jeremy have a good, solid package at the moment.
Yeah. So like everyone know, like the 2018 bike, it's completely new again. So the frame, from the frame till the plastics.
Yeah.
So we are both of us really happy about the bike. We still have not the same engine. We ride different engine because we ride different techniques. But we are happy, and I think the results show what we are capable of. So. The team it's also happy, but you know we are still looking for the top step. So
I was about to say, when you say you have the different engine, have you tried each other's bike or not, or you just know from what the team say that the engine is different, for instance?
About myself, no, I never tried. I think the Jeremy's bike, his engine. I mean, I think not. Maybe he did, I don't know, but I know that he's really, really powerful. First of all because he's heavier than me, and his corpulence is like big. It's not the double as me, but he's bigger than me, so he can hold more power as me. But you know, it's how it is. I prefer to have my bike really, really smooth into the corner, so I don't like to use the clutch also, so it's different.
Right.
What's the biggest advantage with the new bike? Would you say it's one thing or lots of small things? For example, you can make better starts.
The bike compared to the year before, it's completely new. The handling, it's much better. So already the Yamaha was really good on the handling, but now it's even better. So this is the main point of the Yamaha and what I like. And after like the engine, we can work. The team can make almost everything we want. It's just the compromise that we need to find between start and on the track. So, like I said, we had the problem last year. We could start good. The bike have really much power, but on the track I could not hold the power and. I could not turn like I want and everything, so I lost a lot of time there.
All right, well, look, more from Roman in just a moment. Ever wondered how you can watch MXGP live and uninterrupted? Well, Here's how. Why not sign up and purchase an MXGP TV season package? This includes live and on-demand races of every round of the 2018 season, plus all the qualifying races and the FIM Monster Energy Motocross of Nations. Extreme racing action anytime, anywhere. And it's also the only channel where you can watch WMX, EMX 125, 250 and 300 as well. And if you're an MXGP superfan, then why not check out our archive package where you will have access to every race from as far back as 2010 up until the end of last year. All for the price of just €4.99. All this can be yours, so what are you waiting for? Go to mxgptv.com for more details. Back with Roman. You finished inside the top 6, or no lower than 6 in all the rounds. And but in Red Sand, we saw that you have the potential, and we saw both you and the bike performing well that day. You even took a foxhole shot, and you led this first race. It looked like you enjoy it, and you're enjoying it again, and riding with a real smile on your face.
Yeah, Spain, Spain was good.
I know he wants to laugh at Smeal.
Yeah.
Smeal?
Go. Yeah, it's developed. Some story.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Spain was really good. It was my first time there.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the track. It was really fast, really some nice tabletop and everything. I felt good all weekend. I had a good speed all weekend long. And yeah, I had, I think, the first moto all shot. And then I lead for, I don't remember, maybe like 20 minutes. So it was good. Good to be on the front. Little bit
strange or not?
Strange to be on the front like this. And I was riding with Tony behind me, and I feel that some place I was getting away, and then some place he was coming back. So I felt that we had the same speed. So it was it's been a long time, honestly. So I didn't feel like comfortable like I want. So I dropped back a little bit at the end, but second moto was good also. Like my first few laps was not that good, so I get past, but missed the podium for at the same point with the Salle. So a little bit disappointed, but happy about my running.
Okay.
People are saying that at the moment Tony and Jeffrey are on another level at the moment, but like we just saw in Spain, you showed that you do have the speed to be up front with them. As a rider, what do you think about that? Are they that much stronger, do you think?
Yeah, honestly, Tony's best point is the start. He's always on the front. I will not lie, because everyone can see from outside.
Yes, 5 whole shots from 6 this year.
He's its best point. So he's when he's on the front, let's say alone, he can ride really fast. When he has some pressure, I know he's making some mistakes. And after Jeffrey, I think Jeffrey is the man to beat. I think this year he's really ready. He didn't make any mistake, like the same as last year. I mean, he was ready from the first round, and even if he had a bad start, I think it's the only one who came back and win the moto. So he is really fast at this moment. I'm close to them. If I start on the front like we see in Spain, I can hold a little bit Tony. I think Tony is close to my speed, and close. If I start with him, I can battle with him. Jeffrey, we will see, but I'm really happy about how the season starts for me.
Okay, well, we have a question on social media for you, and this one's from Edo Bosch, and they say, what does your daily routine look like? And
just quickly, because we are almost out of time with you.
Yeah, daily. Like when I woke up, I do some sport just before breakfast, and I took my breakfast. I go or riding, or like with the mountain bike, or cycling, or running, and then I end my day with like little bit sport, but not too much, to relax a little bit, and that's my usual day. Yeah.
Easy being a rider, isn't it, these days?
Yeah, it's not that easy, but not easy. I mean, some days, yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
I really like to do it, but some days it's really difficult.
All right. Well, I was only joking, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, look, we are out of time. Roman, thanks for joining us here. All the best today and the rest of the season as
Thanks,
well.
Roman.
Our next guest is in place, ready to come and join us. But before we meet him, Lewis Phillips from MXVice.com. Let's see what happened. See how these guys got on from Red Sand a couple of weeks ago. Here's highlights from MXGP Race 2. As the gate dropped for MXGP Race 2, Kai Rowley got half a wheel on his teammate, closed the door on the 84. And despite all of that, was still able to grab the foxhole shot. Ahead of Tim Gajser, Gauthier Paulin, and Glenn Coldenhoff. Paulin was in no mood for messing around. He immediately went after Gajser. Gajser repaid the compliment with a pass of his own. Herlings spun out, though, of a top 5 place and left himself down in 15th with a lot of work to do. Simpson also hit the deck on the Wilvo Yamaha number 24 as he tried to avoid Jeffrey Herlings. Gauthier Paulin charged down the inside of Tim Gajser on his Rockstar Energy Husqvarna and went after Tony Kai Rowley as the two riders battled over the lead for the first 5 laps. Clément de Sal got the better of Romain Febvre with a hard pass up the inside to go into 4th place. And then made light work of Tim Gajser just a couple of corners later as Kai Rowley started to close in on Gauthier Paulin. Once again, all eyes were on the battle for the lead. The Rockstar Energy Husqvarna rider, though, knew his time was limited at the head of the field as Jeffrey Herlings pursued Jeremy Van Horbik. He was now inside the top 10. He went after his teammate, Glenn Coldenhoff. And then the 243 HRC Honda of Tim Gajser. With clear track, he was able to close down the top guys ahead of him as Kai Rowley made a neat inside pass on Gauthier Paulin, exactly the same place on the racetrack that he demoted Jeffrey Herlings behind him in the qualifying race on Saturday. Herlings was lucky to escape a high side coming out of turn 1, but it didn't deter him going after Febvre. He made a pass to get himself into 4th and then went after de Sal. Exactly the same place on the racetrack. Herlings was through. All of a sudden, only Gauthier Paulin and Tony Kai Rowley lay ahead of him. Romain Febvre thought he made the pass stick on Clément de Sal, but the Belgian, number 25 on the Monster Energy Kawasaki, fought back immediately and pushed the Monster Energy Yamaha rider back in his place as Herlings found his way through on Paulin. Kai Rowley, though, was victorious. He took his first double moto win of the season. It was his 84th Grand Prix victory as well. Jeffrey Herlings came home second twice in both races. Clément de Sal was 3rd overall. Tony Kai Rowley and Jeffrey Herlings are inseparable at the top of the MXGP Championship standings, with de Sal 38 points further back. Guess what? Next round is Trentino, and who can forget what happened there 12 months ago? Jeffrey Herlings will be heading to Kai Rowley's playground for round 4. Well, that was Red Sand a couple of weeks ago. MXGP highlights. Our third and final guest is in with us now, Lewis Phillips from MXVice.com. And he's an MXGP TV studio virgin. Welcome to our studio show here in Trentino, Lewis, for the first time. Might have to point out as well, you're also the fussiest eater in the paddock.
There's a lot of problems going on over here.
What have you had? What have you had so far to eat today?
Absolutely nothing. I can't keep anything down. I've been prepping for this. You've got to look good on TV, haven't you? Let's be honest.
So you are a little bit nervous.
Tiny bit. We'll be fine though.
Well, okay. Just briefly. So far, 2018. Have you enjoyed the racing as a whole? So far, both classes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been. I don't know what more you could ask for, really, could you? Like, if you take a second to step back and look at what we're being offered, it's a once-in-a-lifetime kind of thing. Like, people will talk about this era in 20, 30, 40 years. So we're just lucky, really.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, let's talk about MXGP, the Herlings and Kai Rowley battle. What have you made of it so far, and how do you think it will pan out from here?
Well, I kind of feel like particularly this event, is going to be huge for the championship moving forward. Because we've had 3 events now. Everyone knows where they stand. Everyone's learned stuff about their bikes and whatnot. So now they've had a week to prep everything, get ready. Both guys have made changes to their bikes. Herlin's to get him out of the gate a bit better, which could be huge. Like, just imagine what will happen if he takes a whole shot or 2.
Yeah.
If he can lay down a time like he just did in free practice, immediately right out of the gate, when I honestly don't know what the other guys could do.
But their battle has been every round so far, hasn't it, these two?
Yeah, and if you think that event is a perfect example, just imagine what would have happened if Herlings had started near the front or with Caroli.
Well, I'm glad he didn't, to be honest. You know what I mean? Because they provided the fireworks. First round went to Jeffrey with, you know, that pass on the final lap. Valkenswaard was the same, you know, 12 minutes to go or whatever it was. And then, of course, you know, in Red Sand, he just ran out of time. Tony now arrives as the championship leader. But what about everything else, Lisa?
Well, of course, we've got MX2 as well. Things are slightly different. What do you make of Paul Jonas at the moment, and who do you think could be his main challenger or challengers?
Well, I'm sure Paul Jonas hates for Herlings and Caroli battle because it's overshadowing this great thing that he's doing.
Yeah.
But when I spoke to him in Spain for a podcast, he said that he was on safety mode at the moment, which...
That's scary.
Obviously,
Interesting.
You can decide whether you want to believe that. If I was on safety mode, I'd probably make sure I had more than a 2-second gap.
Yeah. Or a 30-point lead.
Exactly. But... yeah, I'm sure if there's competition here, that's either going to fire them up or make them start thinking about what more they've got to do.
And we're just looking here, you know, obviously Jonas is on a 6-race win streak at the moment, but where do you think his challenges are going to come from? Is it going to be Prado and Thomas Kjær Olsen, and we'll see a short clip in a moment as well, Hunter Lawrence? Are they realistically the 3 guys that are going to challenge him?
I think Prado's the guy at the moment. We've seen that. We have data that suggests that is going to be the case. Olsen confuses me a little bit because I feel like he's got the full package, but something's not clicking that's making him a consistent winner. Starts, maybe.
Yeah.
But then Red Sand, we saw he had the speed. He even started well. Obviously, he fell in a second moto, but he wasn't necessarily using his speed in the way that he should. Lawrence hasn't won a GP before, so I'm starting to wonder if we're maybe expecting too much from him.
Okay.
Obviously, once you get one, the rest come easier, so maybe that's just got to happen. But they're definitely the... primary protagonist.
And obviously he performed well here, didn't he, in Argentina, Hunter Lawrence. Brand new bike, brand new team. There were a lot of unexpected scenarios there. But do you think he possibly performed better because of that? It was almost, there was no pressure because the new bike, new team scenario.
Yeah, I'm sure that is the case. And I'm sure if he hadn't had that moto particularly, there would be some questions being asked. But they can always fall back on the fact that, hey, we're on the pace of that race, so we've just got to try and find that pattern, that setup and all of that.
Yeah. And then what about, I mean, they're the 3 protagonists, but obviously me being a Brit, I've won motos before, I've won Grand Prix before. In the past, historically, we've seen, you know, a lot of British success. You guys, MXvice.com, are a British magazine online. I know from talking to you, you know, before we came here, you have kind of, I don't know, concerns maybe about where the next British challenge is coming from. You've selected 3 guys here, Nathan Watson, Conrad Muse, and Adam Sterry, potentially. They're the top 3 guys. But are we expecting to see them win or be on the podium this year? Do you think it can happen?
Well, I think it depends. The way that you look at it, it depends if you're a glass half full kind of guy. Because we have 3 guys right there ready to break through.
Yeah.
And one of them will do that. Like we saw Watson in Argentina and then Muse at the last 2. And even in free practice just now, both of those guys were up front. I feel like the expectations for Sterry need to be realigned a little bit.
But he's also just coming back from an injury, let's not forget,
exactly.
as well.
And he's had a lot of problems over the last few years, and I think the first step for him is finding consistency. Because if you go over the last few years and look at the amount of times he's actually scored points in both motos at a GP, it's quite scary.
Yeah.
But he's now figured that out this year, so that will start to come, and I'm sure he'll join those guys in 4th, 5th, 6th soon enough.
Okay, so out of those 3 then, who do you expect to be the more successful this year?
Oh, it's between Watson or Muse, and they've kind of been neck on neck. I kind of feel like Watson's got the full package, and maybe we'll go further this year, but then Muse is a year or 2 behind, so who knows in the big picture.
All right. Well, look, we are out of time here, but Lewis Phillips, hopefully it wasn't too much torturous
that was good.
activity for you.
Maybe I'll get to come back. Who knows?
Yeah. But thanks for joining us here, and you know, great work that you guys at MX Vice are doing as well. But we are out of time, as I said. Don't forget, join us for all the qualifying action here today. 4:25 for MX2, 5:10 for MXGP. Of course, you can catch all the action live and uninterrupted today and tomorrow on MXGPTV.com. Well, that's it for another weekend. Thanks to Lisa, thanks to Lewis, Roman Fevre and Thomas Kjær Olsen. We'll be back to do it all again in a week's time in Portugal. See you then. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.